Hey, this is Martha. I was asked how I made the Beadable pin box for the extended pins. So I wanted to do a quick tutorial and show you how. It's really super simple to put together. Normally when you buy a Beadable pin, they end at about right here, and they'll fit inside of the little packets that are sent with the pins or some of the dies that other companies have made. But once you put that extender on, you're getting another, 2 to 3 inches, and it won't fit anymore. Hopefully the kids aren't too loud in the background, but I wanted to hurry up and get this done for the people that have asked. But so yeah, this is how I do it, and it's super simple. Hopefully you'll be able to follow along easily. We're going to take a piece of cardstock, cut it down to 5 by 11, and then we're going to go ahead and score at 1 inch, 2 inch, oop, I jumped on that one, 3 inch, and 4 inch. I'm going to turn it, and we're going to score at 1 inch, 9 inch, and the 10 inch. And then that's all we need our scoreboard for. Hopefully that doesn't mess me up too much when I'm folding here. We'll see. We're going to fold and reinforce on the score lines that we just created. I'm not too worried about that mess up there because we're going to cover it up anyhow later, or it can be covered up later if you choose to do the layering pieces, which I probably will. So all right, once those are all together, this is going to be our bottom on the short side, and then this is going to create the flap that's going to fold in. So we want to cut up along each of these lines to where the 1 inch score mark is. I'm going to do that on both sides. On this one though, we're going to go up all the way to that second score line. So you're going to cut through the first and go to the second. There might be a better way to do this. I don't know. This is just what worked for me when I was trying to figure it out. Then we're going to do some cutting away. So when you fold this up, you don't need these extra flaps here. So we're going to cut one of these away. I'm just going to pick the one on the end and get rid of that. And then these remaining ones, we're going to go ahead and I want to make sure I do the right one. The one on the bottom, I'm going to fold up so that I don't miss it, okay? So we have like this. When I fold my boxes in, I want to make sure that for me personally, I like when all of the lines face the same way. So I have, one side that's solid. So I'm just going to kind of mentally go through and say, okay, this is the flap that is going to fold up at the end to seal it together. This one here. So I'm not going to touch that one. These ones, I'm going to just trim a little bit off the side so that it folds together better. You don't need to take a ton off, just a little bit. This one I'm leaving alone. Yep, that doesn't want to come off. And then just the same all the way down on all of those. Then here at the top, we're going to go ahead and cut away some of this that we don't need. So we don't need this first one. So we're going to cut away the whole thing. And then on the second one, we're going to start where the line is, and then we're going to go down just a little bit more, like maybe a 1/4 of an inch. Or you can, a 1/4 to 1/2 inch. You just want it straight. So try to get it, as straight as you can. Which, it's, kind of relative, as straight as you can. Then the same on this side. We're going to cut away the first one. And then on the second one, we're going to kind of eyeball it and line it up with the second and kind of do the same thing. As straight as we can. It's not perfect. It'll be okay. If you're really concerned about it being, you know, uber straight and even, like this is way wonky, so I'm going to, you know, trim it up a little bit more in a way that makes sense. But if you're super worried about, you know, how that looks, you could definitely put it on a trimmer or cutter. I'm not overly concerned about it because it's just going to be an inside flap. And then this here at the top, we're going to leave it for now, just while we're putting this together, and we'll come back to it in a minute. So you can see how this is just all going to fold in on itself, and then down, side, side, up, so that all these creases line up together. So I'm going to start by putting some glue on this far side. There's probably way more glue than I need, but slightly heavy-handed with it because it's a brand new glue bottle. We're just going to fold all that in on itself. Try to line up the edges as best you can so you don't have wide gaps. And we can, you know, run our bone folder if you feel like it needs a little bit of extra help. And there's that side. So then this one is already folded down on itself, so that's great. We're going to come in and in. Probably lay off of the glue just a little bit heavy-handed. And then this top one is going to be the one that really matters because we want it to seal everything together. I'm just going to press this down on my desk. Give it a second to kind of stick to each other here. And then that's all good to go. Then what we're going to do here on the top, you see how this is going to fold together like that. And then once we do that, this is going to go in. To make it a little bit easier, what I am going to do is take a 1/2 inch punch. It's a circle punch, 1/2 inch circle punch, and this is going to fit here perfectly. I'm just going to cut out a little notch here so that it's easier to get this in and out. Now see, this is still way too long. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut, you know, about half of it off so that it fits better. And then this is just going to slide right in. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Is I didn't cut the corners on this one. And that's part of why I'm having such a problem. So we're going to notch these also. It is pretty much just a standard box, so once you make one, you're gonna see it's so easy. You're gonna be able to make 1,000 of them, and then this is just gonna fit right in here. Maybe should fold in easier than what it's going, because again, I forgot to notch this. This is one of those things where I would have realized it later that I didn't notch it. So sorry. Hopefully this makes sense on the tutorial because I'm not used to telling people how I do things. But anyways, there we go. Now it fits. So it's just going to fold in, and then that's it. Notching those sides is essential, and I don't know why I kept forgetting to do it. But then this is done. And this pin is going to fit in here perfectly. Because like I said, this one, it's just, you know, it's a smaller pin size. So that's how you do that. If you want to add layers, which I'll do later off screen for this one, what you're going to need is you're going to need 4 pieces of pattern paper or colored cardstock cut at 7.5 by 7 3/4 by 3/4, and that's going to give you a small little border around the edges. And you're going to need 4 of those, 7 3/4 by 3/4. So 7 3/4 by 3/4. And then the 2 on the end are going to be 3/4 by 3/4 square. And that's going to, again, cover and then give you a little bit of a border so you still see this yellow peeking out. So then I have this second pin that I made where the focal bead is a little bit bigger. It is on the same pin extender, so it's longer and won't fit in the packaging that the pins come with. But because this focal bead is bigger, it's about 1.5, maybe like about 1.5, I think, a circle. It's too big for this box that I made. So we had to go up a size. So this box, it's going to fit perfectly in here. And what you're going to do for this bigger size box is you're going to cut your main sheet, your main cardstock, at 7.5 by 11. And then you're going to score on the short side at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. And then you're going to rotate it to the long side and score at 1.5, 9, and 10.5. And then you're going to put it all together the same way, the same notch, the same fold here for the flap. And this is just going to fit in here perfectly. You do have a little bit more room. You could probably put 2 pins in this one. But yeah, so that's how I'm going to gift the ones with the larger focal bead. Still a nice box. And then you're going to do your layering piece at, I believe it was 1 1/4. Let me see. Yeah, to do the layering piece, we're going to go 1 1/4 by 7 1/4. So you'll need 4 of those at 1 1/4 by 7 1/4. And then the end piece is just going to be 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 squared. So hope this has helped you, and happy crafting.